All right. Good afternoon and welcome to the Capital Investment Committee meeting of September 26, 2019. Consideration of the minutes from August 22nd, 2019. May I have a motion?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Number 2, consideration to deny water and sewer availability for 2352 Henpeck Lane.
So this is a property that is asked, that has requested availability on the Henpeck Interceptor, the new line that's coming in. This property is to the west of the school, and it would require them to extend the main about 350 feet to their property line. No, this is on the same side of the street, on the north side of Henpeck. So we're recommending denial.
All right. Do I have a motion?
Move to deny water and sewer availability for 2352 Henpeck Lane.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All right. Is there any discussion on this item?
Yes.
Alderman
I just wanna know,
Blanton?
why are you, I don't understand if it's right there. Why are we suggesting denial?
So
Because we don't wanna just start the ripple effect, or?
the alignment of the new sewer main goes to about the middle of the school property, and this would require this sole property owner to extend the main to their property line.
It's cost prohibitive for the
It is
property
it's about
owner. It's very expensive for them.
$130,000 just to extend that main.
But they asked for it?
No,
No.
they
That's
want
where
us
I
to,
was confused.
they
I was
want
like,
us to
well,
deny it so they can go to the county and
Yeah.
get septic.
Yeah.
Understood.
Got it.
So we gotta check a box for them before
missed
they can
that
get.
one.
All right.
Okay.
All in favor? Aye. It passes 4-0. Number 3, consideration to deny request for water and sewer availability for 120 Gilbert Drive.
So this is actually also in the Henpeck Interceptor, but this property owner wanted to speak and he's not able to be here tonight, so I'd like to defer this to the October
All right.
CIC.
May I have a motion to defer to what?
October CIC?
Your October meeting.
October. All right.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Number 4 passes 4-0. Number 4, consideration for approval of water and sewer availability for 112 Lee Circle.
So this one is,
This is for approval.
this is for approval, yeah, and we recommend approval. The sewer line goes, and this is the 5 Mile Creek Interceptor, traverses through the middle of his property. The easement document that was signed allows him 1 tap, and this approval is for that tap in addition to a bathroom, a picnic area bathroom that he would like, that we're working through some of the cost of that, but we recommend approval for this. The
All right.
tap has already been made.
And where is
May,
This is Lee Circle. It's at the end of,
It's around Ellington
It's
Park
out-
area.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
You can
that
pull the map
neighborhood.
up
Yeah.
there.
Is this
There it
close
is.
to where, I'm sorry.
Is this
It's a
in the
large
city?
property.
go ahead.
No, this is in the county.
Is this close to where, Mr. McElroy wanted to hook onto his neighbor who was getting,
That is at the corner of, that's farther over on Ellington.
okay.
So we're running the sewer through his property now to serve
Well,
Henpeck. And as
the-
part of doing that, we offer folks the opportunity to tie in.
Okay.
All right. May I have
Move for
a motion?
approval.
Second.
Any discussion, further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Passes 4-0. Number 5, consideration to deny water and sewer availability approval for 2369 Henpeck Lane.
So this is also a part of, and that's perfect, Vicki, thank you. This is also a part of the Henpeck Lane Interceptor. So we created this map for you to kind of highlight kind of some of the issues that we have with why we're recommending this denial. So you can see the green line right there that's running adjacent to Henpeck Lane is the alignment of the new interceptor. The pink star is his property. And our master plan, our Goose Creek master plan kind of has the interceptor coming, southwestwards, which in the master plan is to serve his property. So we're recommending denial of this, of tying into the Henpeck Lane, just because it's going against our master plan. And starting the domino effect of other parcels kind of tying on one by one.
So has he requested this?
He has
Right,
requested
requested-
approval.
Y'all,
Approval
okay,
of
so
denial?
let me, all right, approval for denial. This was worded very oddly. we'll have some discussion here, but if we have somebody here at the audience who would like to come up and speak to it, you're welcome to come up as well. Is this all right? Do you want to hear from them first? All right. Yes, and give us, and turn on the mic, please, and give us your name and address, please.
Hey guys, I'm Josh Souter. I live at 3037 Rycroft Lane in Ladd Park. We purchased this property on Henpeck Lane last month.
Oh,
We needed some more land, wanting a little more space. We have 4 kids. Our daughter was zoned out of Oakview Elementary School over the summer, and so we really wanted to keep her in the elementary school. So we specifically went on the search for a property that we knew might have to be on a septic system, and we found 2369 Henpeck. Specifically was stated that it was on a 4-bedroom septic with the septic disclosures. And so we couldn't test the septic system because it's been vacant. The current owner had passed away some time ago, and the system hadn't been used in a while. And so the house needs to be renovated. You know, that was the ultimate plan. We have our architectural plans and our building plans, and you know, there's mold and everything in it, but we couldn't test the septic because no one's lived there yet. So we're kind of stuck here in this gray area. But so we went ahead and closed on the house, and we go now to see what we can do with the septic, and the septic department is telling us it's actually a 3-bedroom septic, and that you know, it's the original one from 1975. We can't expand on the field lines at the property because somebody, I guess, a couple years ago tested that to try to see if it could be expanded. So here we are with this big project, and we're ready to go, and it's like we're kind of stuck. Septic saying we can't do anything because the previous owners actually made it a 4-bedroom. So this is why we didn't know. You know, we went to the house. It's a 4-bedroom. We see all the disclosures that say it's a 4-bedroom septic. Now septic is making us take out the bedroom and bathroom, and they're not letting us do any construction until we can put in a whole new septic system, even if that's even possible. So we had started watching the middle school get built across the street, and we were like, oh wow, it looks like they're bringing the sewer right across our driveway. We actually see it right at the end of our driveway. So we're like, well, that would be amazing if we could somehow tap into the sewer, and so that's what we're requesting.
But you're not in the city.
We are just outside the city lines, yeah.
where are the city lines?
Question.
Yes, on the phone.
The application has a request for a 3-inch water line. That can't be right.
Let me pull that up.
Yeah.
Way more water than you.
Let's see.
3-inch water meter size, am I
For
misunderstanding?
350 gallons per minute.
Yeah, that's not correct.
That's
No, it's
commercial
gotta be.
size.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's gotta be smaller.
So what's
Good
staff's
catch.
recommendation on the sewer?
Our recommendation is denial.
Because?
Because it would allow for kind of piecemeal connections to the sewer, not according to our master plan.
Let's look at the
How many acres
map
is this?
here again.
We're on
Yeah.
4.1 acres.
Wow.
What'd you say?
We have
4.1.
4.1 acres.
4.1.
Can we look at your property right there? Where is the city limits on that? Somebody point this out to us, because I'm not sure.
Well, there is
I don't
an
know where-
agreement that, there is an agreement that the Henpeck school properties will annex into the city. That has not happened yet, but it will happen in the future. So ultimately, the city limit lines will be just on the other side of Henpeck from this property.
On the
So
other side of Henpeck
Yeah,
School, or the school, or the
the
lane, or?
whole, all of it.
The north
The
side.
school property. will
And
be in the city,
from here?
and the
there.
south of Henpeck across the road is just outside the city. I don't think the school's annexed in yet, but they had agreed that they would annex in kind of along the way during this process. So, and then they said essentially they do it at the city's request.
Are you willing to be annexed into the city?
Yeah. I had been told that that could possibly take up to a year or so if we requested to be annexed in. And what, you know, we're open to doing whatever it takes.
Well, we could, the board could discuss providing, we do provide sewer for.
Is this in UGB?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
it is.
So it's in the UGB, the applicant's willing to be annexed,
Yeah,
he's
when,
ready to get started.
So, Michelle, can you
Right.
describe what the master plan is to serve this property? I mean, it is in our service area. What, if not this approach, how would we envision it being served
in the future.
in
So,
the future?
yeah, so the master plan is the pink line on there.
Mm-hmm.
So you can see the green line is what we're actually constructing. It varied a little bit differently. It's varying a little bit from where the master plan initially shows it because we're connecting on all the schools. So,
Mhm.
so both of the schools, the one that's
So
not
we're gonna
constructed yet.
abandon- We're gonna build a line and then abandon it?
No, we won't. Well, that line will stay there and it will catch just the school's flow.
Or the school and this property?
Yeah, so one of the other concerns that we have is if we were this property owner to connect, and then there would be a significant others that would like to connect along Henpeck as
Looks like
well.
there's only one. Is that the end of a green line that I'm seeing? In front of the school?
All of those properties on
Yeah.
the south haven't requested
I
availability yet.
understand, but
Not
the
yet.
line that we're building only goes, doesn't even go to the end of the school lot, right?
Correct.
So it would really only be this gentleman and his neighbor to the west that could potentially tie onto that green line.
No, baby, there's.
Across the
there's
road.
3 other.
But it's across the road.
Yeah.
On the south side of the road, yes.
Because you got empty land,
So-
Margaret, because you got empty land over here.
One, 2, or 3.
You haven't- you
Well, we're
don't
also
have
talking about
anybody
all
over
of the, so all the properties along the southern side of Henpeck all the way to
I see that,
Lewisburg.
but we have not yet built that purple line.
Correct.
And until we did, so are you telling me that you would recommend denial for this gentleman unless and until we build the purple line?
Correct.
Okay, so tell me what the harm is in saying to this gentleman, you and those 1 or 2 others to the west of you can go ahead and tie into the green, and when and if we build the purple, we'll deal with all those people to the south.
There's no harm in that. I mean, we have the ability per municipal code to recapture all of.
The harm,
There's no motion.
There was no
yet.
motion made.
the fear,
Alright.
the fear that staff
Alder-
has is that they're not building out the sewer system. What we've done in the past in these situations is we require them to sign an annexation agreement, allow them to have that tap, which
Yeah.
gives up the authority so that we can annex them when we so choose to.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd even put in a requirement in there that they could possibly dedicate any future sewer easements needed for the future build out of that sewer.
Okay.
Can all be put in that agreement, recorded against the property.
Mhm.
It seems like a win-win for everybody.
Alderman-
doesn't it?
that's-
Alderman
that's my
McClendon,
motion. So
what
my
is
your
motion
motion?
is- My motion, to be specific, is to grant the request for sewer conditioned upon both the acquiescence to annexation and the granting of an easement if necessary or when necessary for the construction of the sewer line as designated on this map.
Second.
All right, clarify that, Alderman McLennan. So also, in your motion, does not mean that he has to wait to be annexed.
No.
He can start the process.
Yeah,
You can start it
I just
now.
wanted to
Now, it's
clarify
just-
that. Okay,
You're committing to be annexed,
right.
Mm-hmm.
and
Commitment.
you see that, I don't know where your property line is, but
Yeah.
there's a potential for an easement. Okay, so we won't have to, okay. If you're
So-
okay with that, then
All right, Alderman
And
Martin.
then where on here will the they'll have to cross the road from the green line to
Correct.
their property.
Correct.
And it's their responsibility to do that.
yes.
Yeah, as also part of the agreement, what we would do is, similar to when we granted Scrambler's Knob, is that we would recapture all of the costs that we would expend making the tap for him. And then you would be responsible for connecting your system that probably comes off the back of your property to the front of the property line. So-
Everything from the sewer line to your
Yeah.
Yes.
outflow is your expense.
No problem.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright.
Would this allow us, would we get something saying sewer is available to you, so that way
Yes.
we could start
Yes.
construction?
Yes.
Yes.
We
we
should
can
be able to-
Well-
give you a letter.
Yeah, we'll need to go through with the agreement, but we should be
Yeah,
able
so
to-
the next,
We would grant availability.
we would grant availability, and then the next CIC, we would bring
Is that
the agreements
green line
forward.
It's being built right
It
now.
is being built right now,
Yeah.
it's not active.
So-
You're a few months off from that, probably
so
6,
your
7
Getting
months.
close, though.
reality is
But I could start,
You'll probably have permission and paperwork before you can actually connect.
Generally speaking, the county, knowing that this is happening, will allow you to move forward with what you need to do.
Okay.
Mhm.
They won't let it occupy, but they'll let it move forward.
You'd have to have a CO before you can
Yes,
get
ma'am.
in there.
And we also have to take this to the full board.
Correct.
Yep, we'll take that.
Full board would have to
Can we
vote on it
expedite
as
that?
well, but if it comes
Yeah, we
recommended.
wanna-
Put it on the October
Yeah.
8th or whatever.
Does it need to come back to CIC, or can we bring it to the board with the direction we got today?
Make
I
that-
think, well, I think the agreements will need to be approved through legal
Mhm.
in addition to
Yeah.
coming in front of
We'll
y'all.
do this.
But we might be able to bring it right to the board
Yeah,
instead
to
of another
Another CIC,
CIC.
yeah, we
Yeah.
could do that.
We could do
Yeah,
that.
take it.
Might save
Take
you
it
a
straight to
month.
the board, right?
Yeah.
You all good with that? Okay.
So add that as part of your motion.
Well, I'm assuming staff can. handle
We
it.
got it.
Okay.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, 4-0.
thank you.
Thanks.
You're
Thanks.
welcome. All right.
Well, we'll get some good things.
We did it.
I'm glad we could help.
All right, yes. All right, number 6. Consideration of draft amendment number 1 for the professional services agreement, contract with Hazen and Sawyer for the final design of Spencer Creek at Franklin Road sanitary sewer improvements project for an increased cost of $37,590.
Move approval.
Second.
All right, any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Number 7, consideration of amendment number 1 to the professional service agreement for a inclusive playground and domestic water system at Southeast Municipal Complex with Barge Design Solutions for an amount not to exceed $209,500.
Thank you, Chairman. So
Yes.
before you, this afternoon is the professional services agreement to allow for us to make part of the original contract with the Southeast Municipal Complex, the inclusive playground area, and of course, some water lines. But this will include, for those that might be watching, there is a master plan at your area, and it shows basically as you come into the park area, this is the inclusive playground. And so this would allow for us to do parking, restroom facilities that are ADA accessible. All of our restroom facilities are, but these will require us to really look at what is the capacity of, what is needed for, from children all the way through adults as we work with WAYS, we work with High Hopes and other individuals and organizations within our community that will be utilizing this facility. It originally called for a concession stand in this area. We do not believe we'd need that, but we will equip the parking area since we've adopted a food truck ordinance to allow for food trucks. That's right. A couple of days a week or on the weekends when it is needed. And of course, we'll have water fountains and probably some type of vending machine there. The goal would be also, this is unique in the fact that we are proposing that the city will design the whole thing. However, the public-private partnership comes into play to where the city would build the infrastructure, the facilities itself, and even the pad of the inclusive playground. We are looking to Friends of Franklin Parks and then to overall our community to help fund some of the components that would be included in that playground itself. And so we would go through that process over the next few months in order to develop a design and then bring that design back to this committee and ultimately approval for the board so that we can do fundraising.
Yeah, there's no question, there's a ton of interest in partnering with us on
Good.
this, so
That's good.
Yeah.
this should be
That's good.
a strong partnership.
So, motion to approve. I just want to tell y'all, I know how Margaret has her pet projects, like Lewis This one's mine.
Yep, absolutely.
So,
This is good. It's a good one.
We're on it.
Yep, we're good. All right, all in favor? Aye. And we'll move along to number 8, sorry. Consideration of draft utility, utility relocation agreement with Middle Tennessee Electric Membership Corporation for the Franklin Road Corridor Improvement Streetscape Project, Harpeth River Bridge to Harpeth River Industrial Court and Hopper Lane.
Move approval.
Second.
All right, is there any discussion on this? All right, all in favor? Passes 4-0. Consideration of a draft professional services agreement with CT Consultants for the preparation of preliminary plans and concept renderings of the Church Street Improvement Project, Columbia Avenue to First Avenue South, Harpeth River, in the amount not to exceed $42,500.
So this is one of the projects just approved in the CIP, and what we're looking at doing right now is surveying the whole corridor, and then initially,
Right.
we don't know what we're gonna do with this roadway, we don't know what we can fit in the roadway, we know we need to upsize the water, we need to upsize the sewer, we need to build the storm system with it. We need to look at the overhead utilities, what we do with them, do they go overhead, underground? And so what we're gonna do with this initial phase is basically due diligence and really work with the board to figure out what that corridor looks like, feels like, and how we handle those utilities. It's gonna be very difficult, given the narrow corridor. And so this is more of the due diligence phase of exactly what we're gonna do, how we're gonna do it, get the board support, and then we'll move forward into a more of a preliminary design phase. And so I'm happy to answer.
We better not hear one criticism about tearing up Church Street, not one.
Everybody loves road projects until they get one.
All right, do you have a motion? Or I did have a motion.
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. And passes 4-0. Number 10, consideration. Wait a minute, that was number 10, right? Nope, that was, they're all, it was similar. I'm sorry, consideration of draft professional services agreement with Civil Infrastructure Associates for surveying services for the Church Street improvement projects in the amount of $85,760 from Columbia Avenue to First Avenue South, Harpeth River. All right, discussion. Staff? All right, all in favor? Aye. Passes 4-0. Number 11, consideration of amendment number 5 to the professional services agreement with CT Consultants for the preparation of final plans and specifications, sorry, for the, excuse me, for the Franklin Road Corridor Streetscape Improvement Projects from the Harpeth River Bridge to Harpeth Industrial Court at the cost increase not to exceed $52,000.
Admittedly, most of this work, or all of this work is done, but we had to make some easement acquisition changes due to utility changes, and we had to do some major changes to the signal plans. It was overlooked in that last scope that we did, and some of the utility changes, we just didn't know how big of an impact it is, but this work's been done, and it was not part of the last scope, so we're recommending approval of this professional
Move
service
approval.
agreement.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Passes 4-0. Number 12, consideration of draft utility relocation agreement with Atmos Energy Corporation for the Franklin Road Corridor Improvement Streetscape Project, Harpeth River Bridge to Harpeth Industrial Court and Hopper Lane.
This is a good one. They're actually gonna pay us the funding to relocate and upsize their facilities on Franklin Road.
Move approval.
Let's not have a discussion, right? Any discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Who's the second? Who's the second?
Martin.
Dana Moon.
Alderman Martin. All right. Number 13, consideration of draft resolution 2019-104, a resolution authorizing the city administrator and city attorney to finalize right-of-way and easement acquisitions of tracks 13, 25, 28, 29 for the Franklin Road improvement projects in a total amount of $285,302.
So we're authorized to settle under $50,000 with the city administrator's approval, and then we then have to report those to the board. In this case, it exceeds those thresholds. These are negotiated between us and the resident, and we're recommending approval, and it's all based on a market rate study that was completed by our certified appraiser. So we're recommending approval.
Do I have a motion?
Move for approval.
Second.
Any other discussion? All in favor? Aye. Number 14, consideration of draft resolution 2019-103 to award the construction contract for the West Haven Boulevard traffic signal project to Sessions Paving Company in the amount of $591,322.75. Alderman Martin. Do you have a second?
Oh, there's not a.
Second.
All right. We'd like to have a discussion on this.
No.
I thought we already had.
All in favor?
Done yet?
All right.
The expectation
Mr.
is that
Holzen.
We're gonna start work tomorrow on this, but there is a long
Oh.
wait time on signal poles.
Yes.
So we're sitting down with the contractor
Dana and I
to
are
order
starting
those signal
business.
poles as soon as we possibly can, but issuing a notice to proceed now, we're not gonna be able to get a whole lot of work done. So we'll keep you updated once we sit down with the contractors as
As
best.
soon as
I
we can.
cannot
Get it done.
understand, I cannot understand why you didn't order this thing months ago, like I asked you to.
Give Margaret the company's number and let her take care of it.
We will update you with the project schedule immediately after our pre-construction meeting.
I would-
We'll get Eric it and he can update the board.
Ms. Martin, if you want to move the West Haven into the second ward, we'd have this thing done by Monday, but
No, we wouldn't. Listen,
There are design work that led to,
yeah.
are being able to order
I
the
know
right
you've given
sign,
me
right
excuse
poles.
after excuse after excuse, but I still say you could have ordered it.
We're trying our hardest.
If you'd done what I asked you to the first time, I wouldn't have to nag. I wouldn't have to keep on asking you the
Oh,
same
boy.
thing.
I'm just going to let that one.
Alderman Martin, I feel your pain. It took about, I won't even tell you how long, so I don't depress you, for George Patton and Mallory Station. And. and there-
Hillsborough Road, just stop.
And there,
We all
that's
have our
right, and there
times,
are
yes.
only like a couple companies that do this, so if anybody out there wants to start another company, be our guest. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That passes 4-0. Okay, we are at 15, capital project status reports for September.
The one project I'll really highlight is the tennis courts out of Jim Warren Park. So tomorrow you should start seeing some color go down on the courts.
Oh, wow.
So they've got the paving done, the fence is up. Sorry, no button. Normally I don't need a button, but
You need a button.
but so you'll start seeing some paint, well, not paint, but the coating color go down tomorrow. So we're getting very close to wrapping that project up. That's the one I'll give. A lot of them we touched on already.
Do we have any updates? How are we doing with Matt Catcher?
I have not talked to our contacts out there in a while. I know the last time I talked to them, they were doing
Are we on
fine.
schedule?
They were
They're
on
right
schedule.
on,
Okay.
They're
yes,
right on
everything
schedule.
seems to be right
All
on
right.
Yeah,
schedule.
they're on schedule.
It's one of the great parts of working in a
Greenfield.
greenfield. You don't have any other
There's no
roadways to
complications.
deal with.
All right, and let's see, Franklin Road, McEwen Roundabout. Oh, could we have an update on the roundabout addition out there, because a lot is going on.
They have just completed the water line relocation, and they're working on the storm sewer relocations now.
And so
Okay.
far, they're showing that they're on track schedule-wise. We're monitoring that very closely. It does get into the winter months, but we are pushing them very hard
I
to
know.
get the job done.
Yeah, our staff team has really got their attention early on because we had some concerns about schedule slippage, and I think we've gotten their attention. And actually, this is a contract where we put a financial incentive to the contractor to complete it ahead of time. So we also highlighted the potential benefit to them of getting this done on a timely manner, so.
And
And I believe that's the first contract
Right.
we've done that on, where we've put the financial
It's a second.
incentive. Second, okay.
Yep, but
okay. Anyone else? Yes.
I want to ask a question. On our priorities, of the 30 some odd that we named, we're talking right now about immediate action on several of them, aren't we?
Yeah, we, and the budget amendment that's coming through right now, I think puts in motion about 21 of those 30 projects for some work this year. A lot of it's gonna be design and preliminary work, but and there are a few that we're gonna be able to get started on, but, that's what that amendment does, is it moves dollars or allocates dollars in the right funds to get work started where we've got work we can begin this year.
What about my bridge?
That's one of them.
It's one of them.
Bridge somewhere. We go.
I mean, your memorial bridge?
Yeah.
Yeah, the design work started on that bridge. The Pratt Lane Bridge is the one we're bringing forward a PSA on
Next
shortly. But the West Main Bridge, the design work has started. I knew we had started one of them.
Yeah, you
I
already,
couldn't
you
remember
approved
which.
that one, I believe, last month, so
But
they started.
they're working on survey right now and the preliminary design of it, so it's moving as fast as we can.
Great, thank you.
You know, the other update I want, McEwen 4.
McEwen 4, the plans got submitted to TDOT. They're reviewing them now. And what we're working with them now is trying as quickly as we can to get that approval to go to right-of-way. The board's approved the appraisal services associated with that. And so we're actually been calling back and forth with them this week, trying to figure out when we can expect that approval to start acquiring the right-of-way.
Are we waiting on
But the plans are
approval?
100% done right now.
We're waiting on approval from TDOT so we can start the appraisal service?
We're not waiting on full approval from them, we're just waiting to make sure they don't have any major issues with the way the plans are designed. Once they give us that preliminary blessing, we'll go ahead and move forward.
How long have they had that?
They've had it for a
About
few
2
days.
weeks.
Yeah,
About
2
2
weeks.
weeks.
2 weeks.
And when do we expect to hear back, or are we
Well,
calling them?
that's what we're in conversation with them now. We've been playing
You're
phone
checking
tag
with
all
them?
week. Yep,
Would you do me a big favor? As soon as you get that, would you give me a call or an email?
Absolutely.
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 All right, and then that next day, we're going out to appraisals, right?
As soon as we can. The contract's in place, so as soon as we get that
We're ready to
approval,
go.
we're going.
I know.
Yes,
Uh,
ma'am.
Yeah. All right. By the way, it was interesting, there was a comment made just recently about the, I don't know if you call it debate the other night with the election, why a question or why no one brought up supporting McEwen Phase 4. And I just like to mention this in case people are watching at home. That's already been voted on. It's already in our top 10.
It's fully funded.
Yes, fully funded. We're ready to go. We're waiting on this process.
That's right.
So I just wanted to mention that because that's not the only project. There are many other projects we've already moved ahead on, like McHatcher, of course, that was state route, so.
I will say on McEwen 4, we are very optimistic that we're going to get some additional federal grant money into that project. So that
Good.
could be very helpful. And the good news is we won't have to go through any new hoops because we're already going through
You're
them
already going through the
already. So that could be a nice benefit to our capital financial plan because we're going to have a chunk,
Good.
an additional chunk paid for with federal resources.
And do we have any idea when we might hear about that? Are we talking this
Finalized, we
year
think
or
early
next
next
year?
year, probably spring of next year, you think?
What the MPO has shown us, originally they were gonna put it in the next tip, which wouldn't be approved by the FHWA until probably February, March of next year. They're actually, the latest I've seen, they're gonna put it in the existing tip as a final amendment to the existing tip, which would be approved sometime next month.
So we would really know something in the spring?
No, you'll know something from
By
this
the
one
end of
because
the
it's
year?
going
By the
in
end of the year?
existing by the end of the year.
Oh, great.
And it's
All right.
already in the draft tip, so
Right.
there, unless something drastic happens.
Do you make sure you give us those updates here as well? I'm sure you do, but just, whenever
Absolutely.
we can. Okay, great. Any other questions on this? All right, then, yes, Alderman Martin.
It's not particularly on this, but I received an email today from a constituent in Franklin Green who's upset about, was my email to
This
you.
is
and I
Boyd
said-
Mill, yeah.
Boyd Mill.
Mhm.
And about a month ago is when he complained about it, said the road is a mess and could we do something about it? And I don't know, you said that it's up to the developer.
We were meeting with that developer that very week, and I know we were pushing them to do some additional, at least in the meantime, there's be some final paving when they're all done, but we're asking them to look at any improvements they can do now.
And he said as of today, nothing had been done.
Yeah, I know our street department has been working on it, and I will follow up with them right after
Yeah.
this meeting to see what we can do to speed this along.
That's good.
Yeah, there's work they're doing, so you want to have completed all that before you do final repairs, but we are actually asking them to see what can be done now, because we agree, it is in rough shape.
Thank you.
All right. Then we're moving on to the last item, and that's water and sanitary sewer project status. I do have a question for you, unless you have something you want to
Sure.
jump in. I did not see on here Jordan Branch, and I know that the HOA did submit their bid for the tree removal. Just to bring you all up to date, the stormwater project over in Jordan Branch off of East Cool Springs, off of Baker's Bridge, this is major, and we could not find companies. Do you want to explain that, Paul?
Yeah,
We,
It's actually in the previous one that we did. It's not a water and sewer. It's
Oh,
a
that's right.
stormwater,
I'm
so it's in
sorry.
there.
But
We
did I
did provide
miss
an
that? I'm
update, but
sorry.
we are, I think we have a meeting coming up on this very project internally.
Yeah,
Talk about it
I'm sorry,
internally,
it
and we're
was.
scheduling a meeting internally and then to meet with the HOA representatives on the project.
I just got a call, and they wanted to know what the status was. So when will they be hearing from you? How soon? A week, 2 weeks?
It should be fairly soon, it should be the next 2 to 3 weeks.
I think we're meeting in the next week or so.
All right, so-
Internally go through.
We're trying to meet internally to go through it, and we're gonna contact the HOA board or
Yeah.
leadership to sit down with them and go through it.
Okay, I'll tell Mr. Dixon that you can hear from him probably within 3 weeks. Because that, we couldn't find somebody to do the entire project, it was too big. So we divided it up, still didn't get any bids. And then the one did, they backed out, so the HOA is taking over, trying to get a bid for the tree removal so that we can bring that to the board for reimbursement and then move forward with that. So hopefully this will work. All right, anything else on this? I'm sorry, I forgot, I missed that on there. Anything else on this update for the projects?
Anything you want to update on
I-
wastewater?
One things that I wanted to point out is, so we've been working to update our reclaimed water master plan. And so part of that was to provide better pressures and a booster pump station to the Berry Farms area. So we started work this past week on a new reclaim line, an upsize line, kind of paralleling down 65 to go to Berry Farms. And then we started the process with a consultant to get a PSA for design of a reclaim booster station that'll sit on the Red Wing sewer pump station site. So that's in the process, hopefully, design and then construction. Our crews are laying the line, the force main. So that'll go a little bit quicker, but the design of the booster pump station will take a little bit longer.
Anything else? All right, I have a motion to adjourn. All in favor? Aye. All right, thank you all. Thank you so much. Saying, is this gonna happen, right? I know, we're a tough crew over here.